Let's be completely honest with ourselves for a second. You're trying. You really are. You walk down the grocery store aisles, you skip the chip aisle, you bypass the sugary sodas, and you head straight for the section with the bright green labels. The section that screams, organic, zero sugar, gut healthy, and plant-based. You spend your hard-earned money on these premium products because you care. You want more energy. You want to clear up that stubborn brain fog. You want to finally lose that persistent belly bloat. And you want to live a long, vibrant life. But what if I told you that some of the absolute worst things you can put inside your body are currently hiding behind a health food label? What if the very food you're eating to fix your gut are actually acting like a stealth bomb, wiping out entire populations of your beneficial gut bacteria? It feels like a betrayal, doesn't it? You do everything right, you follow the advice of fitness influencers and marketing campaigns, yet you still wake up feeling exhausted. Your joints still ache, your digestion still feels completely unpredictable, and you look in the mirror wondering, what am I doing wrong? Here is the unsettling truth the multi-billion-dollar food industry doesn't want you to know. The front of the box is marketing. The back of the box is the reality. And today we are going to expose the top 3 healthy staples sitting in American pantries right now that are actively destroying your gut microbiome. We aren't just going to talk about vague concepts either. We are going to look at the hard clinical data, look at exactly what these ingredients do to your intestinal lining, and most importantly, I'm going to show you how to swap them out so you can finally heal from the inside out. If you care about your long-term health, do not skip a single second of this. Let's dive in. Let's start with the biggest trend taking over America right now, the obsession with zero sugar. Look around any American supermarket. Everything is keto-friendly, diet, or sugar-free. We've been conditioned to believe that sugar is the ultimate villain. And don't get me wrong, refined sugar is terrible for you. But in our desperation to escape sugar, we fell straight into a chemical trap. To make these products taste incredibly sweet without the calories, manufacturers load them up with artificial sweeteners and sugar alcohols. You see them on the labels every day: sucralose, aspartame, acesulfame potassium, and sugar alcohols like erythritol, xylitol, and maltitol. They are in your protein powders, your pre-workouts, your zero-calorie coffee creamers, your diet sodas, and even those premium clean protein bars. The marketing pitch sounds perfect, right? All the sweetness, zero guilt, 0 calories, no blood sugar spikes. It sounds like a biological free lunch. But your gut microbiome doesn't care about marketing. Your gut is a complex living ecosystem home to over 100 trillion bacteria. And when you swallow these synthetic chemicals, your gut bacteria are the ones that have to deal with them. For years, major food corporations claimed these sweeteners passed through the human body completely unchanged. But modern gastroenterology has completely debunked this. Recent clinical studies have shown that artificial sweeteners like sucralose and saccharin completely alter the composition and function of your microbiome. Think of your gut like a beautifully balanced rainforest. You have good beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus that keep you healthy, boost your mood, and protect your immune system. When you introduce artificial sweeteners, it's like pouring a toxic chemical into that rainforest. The good bacteria start to die off. Even worse, research shows that sucralose can actually turn normally harmless gut bacteria into pathogenic, dangerous strains. These altered bacteria begin to attack and digest the delicate protective mucus lining of your intestines. When that mucus lining degrades, you develop what medicine calls increased intestinal permeability, or more commonly, leaky gut. Microscopic food particles, toxins, and bacteria escape through your gut wall and enter your bloodstream. Your immune system goes into a state of panic, launching an all-out war. The result? Chronic systemic inflammation. That is why you feel bloated, that is why your skin breaks out, and that is why you feel completely drained of energy just a couple of hours after consuming a diet drink. And let's talk about sugar alcohols for a moment. Things like erythritol and xylitol. Have you ever eaten a keto snack or a protein bar and felt an intense, painful gas bubble in your stomach just 30 minutes later? That is because sugar alcohols are incredibly difficult for your small intestine to absorb. They travel down into your large intestine completely intact, where your gut bacteria violently ferment them. This rapid fermentation creates a massive buildup of hydrogen and methane gas. It literally stretches your digestive tract, causing cramping, discomfort, and severe bloating. If you are trying to lose weight or heal your body, using these artificial biohacks is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. You cannot trick your biology. If a product tastes incredibly sweet, but claims to have 0 sugar and 0 calories, your body pays the price in ways a calorie tracker will never show you. Now, let's move on to the second imposter, and this one is going to sting a little bit, because it is widely praised in the wellness community. I'm talking about gut-healthy commercial fermented foods, specifically flavored Greek yogurts, commercial kombuchas, and trendy probiotic drinks. If you ask the average American how to fix their gut, the first answer you will hear is, eat more yogurt or drink kombucha. And conceptually they are right. Real, traditionally fermented foods are packed with live, beneficial cultures that can do wonders for your digestion. But the modern grocery store has completely corrupted this ancient health practice. Let's look closely at a typical individual cup of fruit-flavored Greek yogurt. The label proudly boasts high protein, live and active cultures, and supports digestive health. It looks like the perfect breakfast or mid-afternoon snack. But spin that cup around and look at the actual nutrition facts label. You will frequently find anywhere from 15 to 24 grams of sugar per single serving. To put that into perspective, a standard glazed donut from Krispy Kreme has about 10 grams of sugar. You are literally eating the sugar equivalent of 2 donuts for breakfast, under the illusion that you're practicing self-care. Why does this matter so much for your microbiome? Because sugar is the absolute favorite food source for the bad, opportunistic bacteria and yeast like Candida living in your digestive tract. When you consume high amounts of refined sugar or high fructose corn syrup, you are directly feeding the pathogens. The bad bacteria multiply rapidly, completely overwhelming and crowding out the good bacteria you are trying to introduce. It creates a state of severe microbial imbalance called dysbiosis. You are essentially trying to plant a beautiful garden while simultaneously dumping a truckload of weed killer all over it. The net benefit is completely neutralized. But it gets even worse. Let's talk about commercial kombucha and probiotic beverages. Walk into any high-end grocery store and you'll see an entire refrigerated wall dedicated to different brands of kombucha. People drink these religiously, thinking they are flooding their bodies with life-giving probiotics. But here is the dirty little secret of the beverage industry: pasteurization and shelf life extension. True probiotics are fragile, living organisms. They are highly sensitive to temperature changes and time. To make these drinks shelf-stable and prevent the bottles from exploding on delivery trucks due to continuous fermentation, many large brands pasteurize their products. Pasteurization involves heating the liquid to an incredibly high temperature. What happens when you apply high heat to living bacteria? You kill them. Every single one of them. So by the time that fancy bottle of kombucha or probiotic smoothie reaches your mouth, the beneficial bacteria are often completely dead. To compensate for this, Some manufacturers will violently inject cheap, synthetic, lab-grown probiotic strains back into the liquid right before bottling, just so they can legally print "contains probiotics" on the front label. But these synthetic strains don't have the same synergetic effect as naturally occurring live cultures. You are paying $4, $5, or $6 a bottle for what is essentially carbonated flavored sugar water with a dead bacterial graveyard inside it. If you want the true benefits of fermented foods, you have to look for products with absolutely zero added sugars, and they must say unpasteurized or raw. If it tastes like a liquid dessert, it is not medicine, it is marketing. This brings us to our third category, and this is perhaps the most dangerous because it is completely invisible to the untrained eye. It's the secret destroyers. Emulsifiers, thickeners, and industrial gums. Think about your favorite plant-based milks like oat milk, almond milk, or coconut milk. Think about your ultra-clean vegan protein shakes, your low-fat salad dressings, and your healthy frozen desserts. If you look at the ingredients of these products, you will almost always see a list of unfamiliar words near the bottom. Carboxymethylcellulose, polysorbate 80, carrageenan, xanthan gum, guar gum, and sunflower lecithin. Most people glance at these words and think, oh, those must just be harmless food additives to keep things fresh. After all, the FDA labels them as generally recognized as safe. But these additives serve a very specific industrial purpose. They are emulsifiers. An emulsifier's job is to keep oil and water mixed together so that your almond milk doesn't separate in the carton, or your protein shake stays smooth and creamy instead of clumping up. To understand why this is a disaster for your gut, you have to understand what an emulsifier actually is at a molecular level. It is a detergent. It is literally chemical soap. Now, close your eyes and visualize the inside of your stomach and intestines. Your entire digestive tract is lined with a critical, incredibly sophisticated protective barrier called the mucosal layer. This layer is your body's frontline defense. It keeps your trillions of gut bacteria exactly where they belong, inside your digestive tube, and prevents them from physically touching the delicate epithelial cells of your intestinal wall. It also acts as a filter, allowing nutrients to pass through while keeping toxins out. What happens when you pour an industrial detergent, a chemical soap, onto a delicate layer of protective mucus every single day? It dissolves it. High-quality, peer-reviewed studies published in prestigious medical journals like Nature have demonstrated that common emulsifiers like carboxymethylcellulose and polysorbate 80 completely erode the gut mucus layer in clinical models. Once that protective barrier is thinned out, your gut bacteria come into direct physical contact with your intestinal cells. This direct contact causes massive irritation and triggers a severe, localized inflammatory response. Over time, this continuous chemical erosion leads to chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the entire body. This is the exact mechanism behind the dramatic, terrifying rise of inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis across America. It is also a massive driver of metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, and unexplained weight gain. You might think you are doing your body a favor by swapping dairy milk for a trendy oat milk. But if that oat milk is loaded with industrial gums and emulsifiers, you are quite literally drinking a solution that washes away your gut's natural armor. And let's talk about carrageenan, an emulsifier derived from red seaweed that is frequently found in organic and vegan products. Because it comes from seaweed, people assume it's completely natural and safe. But when processed into food-grade carrageenan, it becomes highly toxic to human intestinal cells. In fact, scientists have used carrageenan in laboratory settings for decades, specifically to induce inflammation in animal models so they can test anti-inflammatory drugs. Let that sink in for a moment. The very compound used by medical researchers to intentionally cause inflammation is being poured into the healthy plant milks and creamers you consume every single morning. It is heartbreaking because you are buying these products with the best intentions. You are trying to be health conscious, but the industrial food complex is prioritizing texture, shelf life, and profit margins over the structural integrity of your internal organs. I know this information can feel incredibly overwhelming, and honestly, it can make you feel angry. It feels like the entire grocery store is a minefield designed to make you sick. But please, do not lose hope. You are not powerless. Your gut microbiome is one of the most resilient adaptive systems in the entire human body. It is constantly regenerating. If you change what you put into your body today, your microbial profile can begin to radically shift and heal within just 24 to 48 hours. You don't need to buy expensive, heavily marketed green powders or luxury supplement protocols to fix this. You just need to return to basic, uncorrupted human biology. Here is your actionable step-by-step blueprint to reclaim your gut health starting right now. Step number 1. Implement the 3-ingredient rule. When you go grocery shopping, look at the back label. If a product has more than 3 ingredients, or if it contains words you cannot easily pronounce or visualize growing in nature, put it back on the shelf. If you are buying almond milk, the ingredient should read water, almonds, salt. That's it. No gums, no oils, no emulsifiers, no artificial vitamins. If you can't make it in a standard home kitchen, your gut wasn't evolved to process it. Step number 2. Focus on whole food fiber diversity. Instead of trying to take a synthetic probiotic pill, focus on feeding the good bacteria that are already inside you. Your beneficial microbes thrive on complex carbohydrates and diverse plant fibers. In America, we tend to eat the same 3 or 4 vegetables every single week. Challenge yourself to hit 30 unique plant foods per week. This sounds difficult, but it's actually incredibly easy when you include different colored vegetables, berries, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Each different plant feeds a different strain of beneficial bacteria, creating a rich, resilient, and diverse internal ecosystem. Step number 3. Harness the power of functional foods. Bring true traditional medicine back into your kitchen. Ingredients like fresh garlic and raw ginger are powerhouse functional foods for the gut. Garlic is a potent natural prebiotic, rich in inulin, which selectively feeds your most protective bacterial strains. Ginger is a magnificent prokinetic, meaning it naturally stimulates motility and keeps food moving smoothly through your digestive tract, preventing the stagnation that leads to bacterial overgrowth like SIBO. Combine these with authentic, unflavored, traditional grass-fed Greek yogurt or fermented foods that are explicitly labeled raw and unpasteurized. At the end of the day, your health is your greatest wealth. The food industry spends billions of dollars trying to convince you that health is complicated, that it requires fancy processing, synthetic alternatives, and colorful packaging. They want you to believe that you need their engineered products to be well. But true health is incredibly simple. It always has been. It's about eating real, whole foods that come directly from the earth. Foods that don't require a marketing team to explain their benefits. You now have the knowledge that most consumers don't. You know how to see through the clever marketing traps, you know how to read between the lines of an ingredient list, and you know exactly how to protect your precious microbiome. The choice is completely in your hands. Next time you hold a package with a beautiful health claim on the front, turn it around. Read the truth. Your gut, your brain, your energy levels, and your future self will thank you for it. If you found this video valuable and you want to continue breaking through the noise of mainstream health marketing with real unbiased science, make sure to save this video and share it with someone you love who is trying to heal their body. And if you're wondering how to take the next step, how to actually clear out the toxins, manage your body's stress hormones like cortisol, and reset your metabolism from scratch, you need a complete daily plan. Click on this video right here where we break down the ultimate science-backed morning ritual to flush out inflammation and supercharge your energy levels naturally. I'll see you over there.